You are listening to the Next Play podcast, the playbook for high-performing leaders who want to exceed their full potential. From walking on the Ole Miss football team at 5'7", 150 pounds and earning a full D1 scholarship, to coaching thousands around the world and working with massive organizations like IBM. I've learned countless lessons that I'll be sharing right here with you. Join me as I interview some of the most successful people so you too can learn how to focus on always moving forward by deciding, planning, and executing on the next play relentlessly. This is Richie with the Next Play podcast, and today we have a very special guest, someone who went from a stay-at-home mom with 3 boys to a top diamond advisor in network marketing with a team of over 100 people in less than 2 years. She had no direct sales experience beforehand, and today she now helps others do the same. She has an awesome story, someone who had no experience in sales to building a team of over 100, someone who lives by the next play, overcame adversity, and did it all while being a stay-at-home mom. So Chelsea, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So absolutely. So let's jump right into it. So you're a stay-at-home mom, you have 3 boys, you're looking for something to do, or to stay busy, you're looking to make a little extra money. Why did you choose network marketing?
So to be honest with you, I didn't even know I was choosing network marketing when I chose it. I saw a video on Facebook. Somebody was live. She looked like she was having so much fun, dropping some fizzies with rings inside. And I thought, hey, if she's doing this and making a little bit of extra cash and she looks like she is having a blast, why couldn't I do the same? Because at that time, I really wasn't having much fun. I was at home and I talked to children all day.
Yeah, I mean, I can imagine, like, just, obviously you love your kids, but sometimes I could just see how that you can get cooped. All right, so you saw people doing, the fizzy bombs and all that stuff. So what inspired you to say, hey, that's what I wanted to do, or you believe that that's something you could do?
So I went ahead the first night that I had ever saw her live, I went ahead and shot her a message to just see, is this something anybody can do? Is this your business? What is it? And how can I be a part of it in any way? Is there any way that I can do this too? And have that fun that you're having? And she went over the process with me. She told me very little. All I knew was that I could join and I could sell the same things that she was selling and that she would go live with me the first time. And that sold me right then. I just knew that she was making a little bit extra cash. And honestly, my husband did well for us. I didn't have to work, but I just wanted that extra fun money for if I ever wanted to go do something extra or to just feel like I was contributing to the family as well. And I got started pretty quickly. So I went ahead and joined that night with her. I waited about a week to get my product. And I still had absolutely no idea what I was getting myself into. But yeah, that's pretty much how it got started. I watched her and knew in that moment that I was going to do something with it.
Did you feel like because you didn't have sales experience that how did you feel like, yeah, go ahead.
Terrified. She had told me that she had previously already done this before. So this was something she was used to. But in that moment, I had never been live. I'm pretty outgoing, but I'm also kind of shy, like in person. So I didn't really know if I was going to really be able to do it, but I just knew I was going to try.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because there's really also too, you're selling 2 different things, right? You're selling a business opportunity and you're also selling a product.
Right.
So it's
the moment of me joining, even getting my product, I didn't realize it was a business opportunity. It was just fun for me. Just fun and extra money. That was all that I saw this as, which is absolutely mind-blowing to look back on now.
Right. Okay, so how did you learn how to sell? Like, how did you go from no sales experience to selling these products? And
So
is that what you started on, selling the product first,
I did
obviously?
start on selling the products. And I've not ever had any sales experience before that, but I also now I'd never considered myself a top seller. I did well, but I wasn't a top seller. I was just always that top recruiter, and teaching them how to do the same. But the excitement that I showed on my lives was over
Mm,
the top. It was over
yeah,
the top. Pretty much, if I felt myself like running out of ideas, I would come up with a new game or something new to do. Almost, my customers love to watch me like eat nasty stuff, torture myself pretty much. But we would
really?
do
Like fear
anything,
factor?
yes, to boost the excitement, not only on their end, but also from myself.
So here's a question. I'm curious of this because I think it's something that a lot of people probably think about is like, in the beginning, how do you get people to join your live? How do you like, do you know what I mean? Like, did you already have a big following?
I didn't. I just had my personal Facebook page. I built the business page just from scratch when I started. And going live on that business page at first, you don't have a ton of viewers. You've got to build that network. And that was something that did take a little bit of getting used to. But people had never seen me live before. So when they did see, they want to know what you're doing when they've never seen it. And that is how I felt like I drew them in to begin with. Once I
Right.
drew them in, many of them were just obsessed with the products and they kept coming back.
Got it. But in the beginning, like so you went live, did you have to like invite people or just people just show up?
So you invite people to the business page. They of course could accept or not even see those, but it would still pop up on their timeline, anyone that I was friends with. So my personal friends that had never seen me live, even if they hadn't liked that page, did see me on their timelines and get to hop on and show some support.
Got it. Okay. All right. So you're doing these lives, building it up. Like, how did you how did you go from there to recruiting? Because that's like the name of the game, right? Like obviously you want to sell product, but if you want to build a real business, you've got to recruit. So how did you go from selling products and doing lives to 100+ recruits? Because that's a lot.
So I actually got my first recruit on my second show. I was live and I was just having fun. It was the same thing that I had saw, the same thing that drew me in, drew her in. And I didn't realize that I was doing that by any means. I was just sharing my experience. And she joined quick, but after that, I feel like with that it's always the first one. Once you get that first one and you realize, hey, I can do this, I just kept going. I shared that what it was doing for me. I mean, I was taking trips. People that knew me knew that I was living a different lifestyle than I was living beforehand. And they were noticing that the excitement was growing. And I really do think that my excitement drove my sales, but also drove getting those recruits and then drove those recruits to keep going and do the same thing.
Got it. Yeah. So you're saying excitement. Like, so how did you do that? Like when you say excitement, what do you mean? Like
I
just
was
like,
so passionate. I still am. I'm super passionate about this business, just coming in and not just coming in for fun and then realizing, hey, like I've been here a month, I just earned this bonus. I've been here this long and I just earned this trip. And knowing that you can offer that to other people that are just like you, that drove me every day to
yeah,
bring people on.
yeah. So did you, when you built your team, do you feel like lives was like, do you feel like today it's the same thing? Because social media has changed, right? Like
It has
what,
definitely changed.
yeah. Do you feel like if you were starting today, that's what you would do?
I think I have a lot more knowledge in the industry now, and I probably would have been building my network prior to going live that first time if I was doing it now. But I do think that I would do a lot of it exactly the same.
Right. So let's talk about building your network because I think that today, like media is the future, right? It is the name of the game. If you have a business, I mean, it's just what it is today. creating a network, and then the media around that network is the path, right?
Mhm.
I can't see another way around it. So how do you go about doing that? How do you feel like how do you go about building a network? Like, what's the best way to do that?
Getting into different groups that have the same interests that you do. When I started, I wasn't in any like direct sales, network marketing, any of those kind of groups. And I did get myself into those very quickly. And those definitely help, but also just finding people that have like the same normal personal interests as you, not business related, and building a relationship with them, building a relationship with your personal followers on your Facebook page, whether that's telling them happy birthday or recognizing their accomplishments or being excited for something they have coming up. You've got to engage with other people. And I think a lot of people get the misconception that you don't have to do that, that they just come because they're on your Facebook. But if you're not talking to them, they're not going to talk back to you.
Right.
And I think that was a big part of growing the network.
Do you think that most people just like, what do you think prevents people from, like, even let's say people know, like, I've got to do outreach, I've got to talk to people. Why do you think they don't? Like, why do you believe that most people just won't do it, even though they know that's what they've got to do?
They're not confident enough in themselves.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. So where do you feel like you got the confidence to do that?
Honestly, the people that I looked up to in the industry when I started, I think instilled a lot of that in me. And there was one day where it just clicked. And it was like, okay, no, you are Chelsea Wix and you can do this. And until I believed that I can do it, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But them and the support that they offered me, I think gave me that confidence.
So yeah, I mean that, and obviously you trickled that down. That's how you were able to build a team. I think support is so important, and people believing in you. So you think so obviously outreach is the name of the game here, and you believe that when it comes to outreach, the reason that most people don't do it is because of confidence, and to build confidence is to have that support around you, people who actually. So what about people that don't have that support? What would you suggest? Like, how do they, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't, you know.
It's hard for me to speak on that because all of the people that I'm around here have it. They all have the support. And that's something that James and myself really,
It really is.
we loved it when we were advisors, but that my team became my passion so quick when I was an advisor. So this position that I'm in now, it's just, that's what we do. And to hear somebody that doesn't have support, I would tell them to come and join us because we will give them unlimited support. And so will our Ohana.
Right. It is something that I see so much because I'm friends with so many people and I just see how everybody's commenting on each other's stuff and liking each other's stuff. And I'm sure, you know, obviously with the group, they're always connected and talking. And I think that's really important. So let's jump into that. Let's jump into like how, I mean, obviously you and James and Amanda have created this community of people, and that now you're able to help other people do what you did. So walk me through that. Like, walk me through your transition from actually being in the industry to today teaching other people how to do it.
So you went like from advisor to this?
Yeah.
All right. So mine it's a little different. I thought that I wanted to take a break from the industry and I left as an advisor.
Oh, really? Okay.
I took about 6 months. And I actually did try another network marketing company. This is how I also will firmly stand on our culture is unmatched here, because the difference of the two was just incredible. I felt like a number there, and like I was just putting in sales to help my upline, and that isn't how we did things here. And it was very quick into that other company that I realized I made a huge mistake. And
So
that
that's important that you got to experience that though.
it is. I always say there's no regrets, because I do regret leaving as an advisor in one sense, but at the same time, I really needed to see that the culture was just not the same anywhere else.
Right. What was
There, quickly after I talked to Amanda, I said, hey, this just isn't for me. You know, I made a mistake. The culture's not the same. I miss the Ohana. I miss the passion that I had, because I didn't have the same passion. And her and I discussed things. We had discussed me coming to work for corporate while I was an advisor as well. And it just fit in that moment. She had somebody that was going to be pursuing a different career, and she needed someone here, and I was getting out of that and needed something to do. So it was like meant to be, I feel like.
perfect. So isn't that crazy how things work? So let's talk about what wasn't good about the culture. Like we always try to talk about what's a good culture, but for you, what wasn't good about it? What did you not like? What did you see that you're like,
So
this is
I was
not
starting fresh, and I was used to being, you know, at the top of the company that I was with. And I realized on a Zoom call, when I first heard them call their lower rank a peon, that I was at the wrong place.
what's a peon?
I don't know, but I don't like it.
Yeah, it seems like a
It was
very
very, yeah, it was like very just degrading to them. I had some success with them very quickly also. So I felt like they were being very nice to me, but they weren't being as nice to my downlines, who were the lower ranks that they were considering peons. Um, they weren't ones to jump around and like comment on your post or even ask how you were doing. Anytime you spoke, it was about business. And that's just not the same. That's not how it is where we are.
yeah.
But when I felt like I was just a number and I was just a paycheck, I knew that I was in the wrong spot.
And I think that's so important, like in any industry, in any leadership role. So what were some of the things they were doing that made you feel that way? Because that's like it's always not so much what to do, but what to avoid to do. Like what were some of the things they were doing that made you feel like, oh, I'm just a number?
Well, even comments that they would say, I mean, it was very apparent that if you were not on the top end of the compensation plan, that you were not going to be treated the same. They would not do the same trainings with us. They would not have us on the same calls. It was just very separated. And it was hard to figure out how you ever got to the other notch without acting like they did.
Got it. Yeah, that's no good. Okay, so then what do you believe makes a good culture? Like what do you like what did you like when you've built your team and what you've built today? Like what makes a good culture to you?
I was always super hands-on, and I think that that's important. We're hands-on with our field all of the time, and we support them, whether that's something that they need to talk about business, something that they need to talk about personal. They know that they can call at any time. They can reach our CEO. I can't even tell you who the CEO of that other company was, because they were never around. I feel like once companies get to a certain level, like you just don't see that same support. And that's something that we will never, ever get to.
Yeah.
We might get to a higher level, but we will always show that same support because it is important to us.
Right. And Amanda's always just like open door, always there, support.
Sure.
I love that. So, okay. So then how did you build this? Like, I know you're part of a team that's doing it, but what are some of the things that you've done or you've seen Amanda or James do to build this, to set this foundation and create this culture?
I mean, Amanda has just created this from the ground up. I think
Did she start this from scratch completely?
Yes, absolute nothing. She started this. And the culture when I was an advisor was really it was the exact same as it is now. It's never changed. It's always just been so supportive. And that's what she built it all off of. With Amanda being in the industry before, I think that is a huge game changer for our advisors because she knows where they've been. And she has that mindset still. And if you haven't ever done any kind of network marketing or direct sales, it's kind of hard to understand what they go through or where they come from, but her having that knowledge, and just, she's so hands-on.
Yeah.
It
It-
never ends.
Yeah. But I love the best part because like in the beginning, she was actually like doing the lives and stuff like that, right?
She built this company off of going live for 67 days straight. And in that moment, all she was doing was shucking oysters and opening mystery bags. And so 67 days of going live turned into all of
Reveal Reign, what it
Yes.
is today. Really? I didn't know that part.
Yes, that's why we have our advisors do a 67-day challenge, because we want them to see exactly how she started the business.
Now, were you there in the beginning?
I was not. I came in 2019 and she started this in 2017.
2017. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of because I want to say it was 2019. So in 2 years, she had already had her own live events like convention.
Oh yes. She had one, I believe she had one 2018 was her first one.
Holy, how so fast?
Because she's a mastermind.
Seriously.
So
that's
good
impressive.
at what she does.
What do you think makes, I mean, obviously you've learned, so like a lot of your sales and stuff, but what do you think makes her ability to sell so, what do you think it is? Like, why do you think she's so good at it?
She has a very large network to work with, but, and it's gonna sound redundant, Amanda is always excited. She is so excited about everything that she does, and she's so passionate, and you can just see the passion like flowing out of Amanda when she talks about future events or just what's going on that day. She's passionate about every aspect of this business.
So how do you teach people, or how do you help people on your team? Because obviously it seems to me that's, I mean, sales in general is a transfer of passion and trust. And so how do you teach other people, or how have you been able to teach other people to be excited, to be passionate, to like, how did,
I think it's different for everybody. You've kind of got to figure out what excites them. Some of our advisors get super excited to see one of us on their lives. Some of them not so much. They just clam up a little. Some of them get super excited for a challenge. They'll get super excited for us to throw some competition at them. I think it just depends on the advisor, but we're so in tune with them and we get so personal with them that we know what it takes for that person.
Right. So you just figure out like, okay, what is this person like? Because it seems to me like, and it actually makes a lot of sense that if you're doing lives and you're like excited, people are just going to be attracted to the excitement and want it because they want to be excited. They want to be passionate about something. And so do you find like a lot of the people that you end up bringing on or attracting are people who, are kind of living their life, but they don't really have anything that's exciting for them at that moment in time. Like they're living, they're fine, but
Yes, a lot of times we see so much growth in people. They come in with just not much motivation or not anyone to talk to. Everybody joins for different reasons, but there's so many of them that we watch just grow into this whole, it seems like a whole new person just because they've got a little bit of confidence or they've got some support or they found something that they're passionate about and they've never really had anything like that.
Right. So that's got to feel good then, because you're
it's
helping
very
people.
fulfilling. I say my job here is more fulfilling watching them than it was doing it myself.
Ooh, I like that. So why do you think network marketing has such like a bad rap?
Honestly, I don't know because
It does, right?
it does. And in like I said, when I joined, I didn't even know this was network marketing. But if I wouldn't have done it, I can't even imagine where I would be right now, and what kind of life I would be living because network marketing changed everything for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
They say, you hear a pyramid scheme, all of this. Any job really could be considered a pyramid scheme. Pyramid schemes are illegal. If it was a pyramid scheme, it wouldn't be, you wouldn't have it. So it's crazy to me. The negative rap.
Well, every company is a pyramid.
Right. Everyone, that's any job.
What is a pyramid scheme? That's where you're like robbing Peter to pay Paul, right?
Right.
That's a pyramid scheme.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, no, so an MLM, it is a pyramid because you get paid on people under you, but it's not a pyramid scheme.
No, you're not scheming it.
Do people say that to you all the time when you're like recruiting or?
I've definitely heard it numerous times. Those are people though that I really just don't put much attention into because if that's the mindset that they're in, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. But like, how do you educate people on like, hey, it's
I'll
a pyramid.
I'll show them anything that they want to see, of course, but our compensation plan, it's not a pyramid. Like it shows you exactly what you're going to make for exactly what sales. You make money off of all of your personal sales, which is something that isn't offered everywhere else, I guess. Which that's crazy to me because if you sell it, you should be getting paid for it. But there
Right.
are companies that don't do that.
Huh.
They have to like hit a certain level in sales before they can get paid.
Very interesting. Okay. So let's talk about your next play, Chelsea. Like you've obviously done well for yourself. It's impressive that you went from no experience stay at home to building of a team of 100. That's a lot of recruits in a very short period of time. And you're a diamond advisor, which is like at the top. So what, you came to corporate, you're obviously helping other people do the same. What's your next play moving forward?
My next play is to create some diamond advisors. I want to see them do the same thing and it's duplicatable. It's super easy. We know exactly how to do it. We just have to get them there. And I want to just continue to introduce Reign to other people that were just like me just a few years ago.
Yeah, I love that. How many diamonds do you want? Like if you said, hey, I was able to get this many people to diamond, like obviously you're always going to want to do more, but like what's your initial like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do?
I would love to see 3 like very quickly, but I'm going to literally cry my eyes out when one of them do it because nobody's done it yet. I'm the only diamond advisor that we've had. So I'm just like, I'm so ready to see them do this.
Yeah. Do you have someone right now that you've been working with that's close?
I have 3 that I've been working with.
How far? How long?
I would say 3 months for one. Max.
Maybe before the end of the year.
Definitely happy before then.
Oh my God. So what are you gonna do? What's your reward if that happens?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that. I think my reward is like just seeing it happen.
You have to reward yourself, Chelsea. You have to have a reward.
Well, I like to go on trips, so I would probably take myself somewhere if I was going to reward myself.
Now, do you still live in Tennessee?
I do.
Okay. Are you in Nashville?
I am about 30 minutes outside of Nashville. So nice. I'm in between Nashville and Cookeville.
Got it. Okay, cool. I love Tennessee. Is it cold there yet?
Yes, but it's
already
like cold in the mornings. Like this morning, it was probably 40, and now it's like 75. So
that's not bad. But I can't believe it's cold.
Like really like in the 30 mornings, but we're not like solid cold just yet.
Right. Okay. All right. So Chelsea, I really appreciate you being on the show, sharing your story and a lot of the things that you've done to be successful. How can someone find you? If someone's like, hey, I actually want to connect to Chelsea, I'm interested about and Rain and what you're doing, what's the best way to find you?
So you can just shoot me an email at chelsea@myrainproducts.com, or you can also find me on Facebook, and my name there is Chelsea Wix Reign.
Yeah, super easy. Chelsea and then Wix, Wix, and then Rain is spelled a little differently. It's Reighn, right?
Right.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So is there anything else that you would like to share with our lovely audience before we end?
I don't think so. I really appreciate you having me, though.
Yeah, no, this is good. I love these kind of conversations, and I think what you've done is really, really hard to do, and you downplay it a little bit. But I love that you're helping other people get there and that you're just as passionate about doing your lives as passionate about helping people become diamond. And I think you're in the perfect spot, and I love like the fact that you're with Amanda, and I think it's a good fit. So Chelsea, thank you so much for being here on the Next Play podcast, and I look forward to having you on again soon sometime in the future once you have diamonds.
Right. Yes. Hopefully soon. Thank you so
Awesome.
much.
All right, thanks. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Next Play podcast. If you liked the show, make sure to leave us a review. For more resources, visit relentlessuniversity.com or download the free Relentless University app. And if you're interested in having me speak at your next event, visit relentlessrichie.com. Until next time.